We begin this morning with a Fox News alert. The long-awaited Jeffrey Epstein court documents are now unsealed, and several prominent figures are referenced.
Yup, it includes former president like Bill Clinton, as well as celebrities and business leaders.
Many of the people named, including Clinton, have not been accused of wrongdoing, but the documents are answering some questions about Epstein's web of associates and famous friends.
Brooke Singman joins us now with the sordid details. Brooke.
Good morning, guys. A federal judge releasing nearly 200 names that were previously redacted from hundreds of court documents filed in a since-settled defamation lawsuit, which was brought by one of Epstein's accusers against Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, former President Bill Clinton is one of the biggest names here, and the documents detail his personal relationship with Epstein, including 4 trips Clinton took on Epstein's private plane in the early 2000s. In the deposition, one victim was also asked, "Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton?" She answered, quote, "He said one time that Clinton likes them young," referring to girls. Now, Clinton appears over 70 times in the first release of documents. And in a deposition, another Epstein victim, Virginia Joffrey, said Maxwell told her that she and Clinton flew in a helicopter to Epstein's private island. He's previously said he has never visited Epstein's homes and had no knowledge of his crimes. Disgraced Prince Andrew also was mentioned in detail in these documents. According to Maxwell, the prince made a trip to Epstein's compound as well. And another major revelation was made about magician David Copperfield, who allegedly performed magic tricks for Epstein and several of his victims during a dinner at Epstein's New York City apartment in 2016. Now, again, the people named in these documents are not accused of crimes, and many, like former President Trump, have been cleared of wrongdoing. Guys?
It is a crazy story. And, Brooke, I understand not all the names have been released of the alleged victims because all these names, for the most part, that we know of, have appeared in other court documents. And so the judge said, you know, it's out there so you can have it. But apparently there are a couple where the victims have never sued anybody, have never been brought up, and so the judge is keeping their IDs secret.
Exactly, and we're expecting more documents to be released, Steve, but really, we actually, back in 2019, I reported a lot of these names. We had received, when Epstein was first indicted, or I guess it was the second time he was indicted in 2019, these flight logs, and a lot of the names that came out yesterday were names that we at Fox News have already reported dating back to 2019, so not much of a surprise, but we'll see what's to come in the rest of those documents.
All right, thank you so much, Brooke. You know, when you fly on a plane, your name is listed. It's the manifest.
Yep.
And Bill Clinton's name, according to these documents, he had 24 flight logs on this private plane that belonged to Jeffrey Epstein. One of the accusers, the Joanna lady, in her deposition, she's the one who said Clinton likes him young, referring to the women. And then another accuser, Virginia Giuffre, said that Sharon Churcher, I'm not sure who that is, a woman, said to Ghislaine that Bill Clinton did fly to that private island called Little St. James.
Deep buried in the documents, you have John Doe number 36, and I just found this astonishing. Jeffrey, this is a question from the prosecution. Jeffrey Epstein never told you that knowingly he had sexual contact with underage girls, correct? Of course, the defense automatically objects right here. The judge allows the witness to answer, and this is what she said. When I asked him if the accusations were true after I spoke with the police, he said yes. But these women lied about their age. So there was an admission from Epstein that he was sleeping with and marketing underage girls, but he claims that they lied about their age.
Well, let's also give credit to Marsha Blackburn. She's been relentless on this. She's the one who brought it out. And the big mystery is, why is Dick Durbin standing in the way? I mean, obviously, he's not on anybody's manifest. Why were you standing in the way all this time and then denying that you're actually doing it? Senator Marsha Blackburn says this is the beginning. She's not going to stop until all the names are out. And the other thing to keep in mind, too, is if you look at Alan Dershowitz last night, if you saw RFK last week, he said, listen, number one, it wasn't me, and she said I could have misidentified him. That's Alan Dershowitz saying that to Sean. He said that before.
And he represented Epstein.
Yeah, he represented me because I had business with him. I was on the plane. I wish I never met him, but I do represent people that are tough defendants. But the other thing to add on is RFK Jr. He goes, yeah, my name was on it. He took my family fossil hunting. So Everyone who sees a name on the manifest don't go, okay, guilty.
Right.
This guy was doing other things.
Right.
And the other thing about what I can see about Jeffrey Epstein, he was giving to a lot of good causes. So in a lot of people's mind, they thought, this guy's a good guy. He's really rich, but he gives to a lot of foundations.
Right.
So that could have got him on the plane.
And to that point, Brian, his brother, Mark Epstein, spoke to the New York Post a couple of days ago. And he said, and we don't have the background, and it would be great if Jeffrey Epstein were alive so we could ask him this question. Mark Epstein, the brother, said Jeffrey told him once, quote, if I said what I know about both candidates running in 2016, meaning Hillary and Donald Trump, they'd have to cancel the election. He did not elaborate what that meant. However, Ainsley, you mentioned that Joanna woman, one of the alleged victims earlier, who said that Clinton likes him young. She said she was once flying on Epstein's plane, and they made an unplanned stop in Atlantic City because Jeffrey said, great, we're going to call up Trump. And so then they went to visit Trump at the casino, exactly.
But didn't she say she wasn't sure which casino it was?
Oh,
She
didn't know that, but it did know it was Trump. Going back to the brother, he said, and Brian, this is your point. He said, my brother used to have conferences on the island with noted mathematicians and scientists. So now they're going to get smeared because they participated in one of these scientific panels. The reason Mark spoke to the New York Post is because he believes his brother was murdered after his arrest in 2019, and he did not commit suicide. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.